All right. Hey, everybody. Tis I, Hope Giselle. And to be perfectly honest with y'all, I'm only coming. To be perfectly honest with y'all, I'm only coming to do this video because I recognized a couple of things after I uploaded my videos and things yesterday about this entire Dominique Morgan situation. And one of the things that I want to note for people is this. I don't have to go out of my way to cap or stand up for or do I just I don't have to go out of my way to cap or stand up for grown people, especially when those grown people um have never even really particularly stood up for me in situations that I've been going through. And that's not a dig. I wanted to be very clear that this is not a dig. Um you know what I'm saying? This is not a dig at all, but this is me saying that I am a person who basically has lived a large part of her life on social media, in the public eye, and in the eyes of people who are actually out here doing the work and saying the things. And I noticed that there's a lot of y'all that are in my comments on YouTube specifically, and some of you all who have chosen to bring things to my inbox about, oh, you're caping for Dominique. Oh, this feels like an attack of Gabrielle. Oh, you're not talking about Gabrielle as a single person, you're talking about her as an entity. Oh, this is all bullshit. I'm divesting from all of you all. Oh, you could have just said that you riding with your homegirl till the wheels fall off and it would have been okay. But I need y'all to understand one thing for certain and two things for sure. I'm gonna say what the fuck I want to say, regardless of who is involved in the situation, regardless of how they may feel about how I feel. And I'm gonna leave it to the wolves to decide how they want to divvy up my body in the aftermath. But one thing Hope Giselle has never been is pussy, scared, anybody's footstool. I'm not anybody's mouthpiece. I think that what y'all have to know and what y'all have to understand is that Dominique can defend herself. Anybody else in these particular situations can defend themselves. I see Dominique is in the comments now saying that you were fair and balanced, and I respect and appreciate that from you. And to me, that's the only validation that I really need. The only other validation that I could get that would make me feel even better is if Gabrielle also told me the same thing, right? Um, what bothers me is that a lot of y'all are sycophantic. A lot of y'all want to kiss up to people, and when you have nobody to kiss up to, then all you want to do is tear down. You know what I'm saying? Is tear down people. Let me make it very clear to a lot of y'all. I see the game. I just want y'all to know I see it. A lot of y'all don't care that the accountability came with 30 days and 5-year probation. A lot of y'all want Dominique to be stoned. A lot of y'all want Dominique to lose her platform. A lot of y'all want to become the people's auntie that she's been lovingly named by community. A lot of y'all want what Dominique has. You don't care whether or not Dominique stole that money. You don't give a shit whether or not Dominique is a criminal or a thief. You never liked Dominique before any of this happened. And now that there's a reason and an excuse to say that you don't like Dominique publicly without looking like the shady, hating ass bitch that you are, a lot of y'all are taking the opportunity to do that. And mind you, I'm not saying anybody's name. I'm not saying anybody's name. So if the shoe fits, wear it, because I'm addressing random ass comments. I'm not addressing a single person or a single entity or an organization. I am addressing the comments. So if you did not leave a comment that's worth me responding to about this, then this ain't about you. And I want you to understand that if you holler as a hit dog, then that means that you said something about me or said something about what I said that I don't even know about. And now I do, and I'm going to block you accordingly. So if you respond to this, and I know for a fact that I wasn't talking to you, I'm going to assume that you've said things about me that I don't know about, and I need to go ahead and just get you up out of here. But what I'm going to say, and this is going to be my last thoughts about this particular topic because I don't believe in going back and forth about some shit that ain't mine to deal with and mine to atone for. The only reason that I even came and said something about this particular time was because of the way that I handled it the first time and the way that it affected somebody that I care about. So let me say this. I wanted to keep my mouth off of this entire situation from day one, moment one, article one. And for the longest time, during the entire opening section of this, I did. I let all of y'all make y'all think pieces. I didn't say anything. I didn't tweet anything. I didn't post anything. I didn't make a video about nothing. I let y'all run amok. I sure did. And behind the scenes, the relationship that I had with my friend was killed because my friend felt like, I'm not asking you to defend me. I'm asking you to say something because Hope Giselle always got something to say. And the fact that you didn't even say anything made me feel away, sister. The fact that you said nothing made me feel away. And I made a promise to a bitch that I give a fuck about. And I said, you know what? Win, lose, or draw, no matter how I feel, when all of this shit goes down, you'll never be in the dark again. And because that's the type of bitch that I am, I stuck by my word. But if it were up to me, I would be living my lavish little life in Mexico, thinking about when the next time I'm going to get some dick from my husband is. So I need y'all to understand that a lot of y'all have got me all the way fucked up, because it has nothing to do with my analysis of Dominique. The same reason that some of y'all are upset about my analysis is the same fucking reason that some of y'all are upset that Dominique is out of jail. Because it doesn't matter about the message. It's about who the messenger was. Because if I was one of these has-been ass bitches that y'all keep trying to bring back from the dead, making those same exact claims, y'all will be out here being like, oh, that makes so much sense. Oh, I'm so excited for the nuance. But because I am also another girl that y'all don't like, that y'all don't care for, that y'all want to constantly paint as this horrible person, even though I don't see you bitches out here advocating for trans healthcare. I don't see you bitches out here talking to Congress people and congressmen and women trying to make a change and get people educated. I don't see you bitches out here advocating for HIV healthcare. I don't see you bitches out here going out of your way to self-fund a tour, self-fund a documentary, and then give half of the money that you were able to even make from ticket sales back into community. Y'all want to know where the money that I made from the tour went? My ticket sales and my numbers covered all of the scholarships that I gave out, and then some. And then some. Y'all want to know about what I do outside of yell and scream on the Instagrams and talk on the internet? That's my work. That is what I do. That is what I do. Y'all want to see Dominique thrown underneath somebody's jail and forever forgotten. That is the only way that y'all would be happy about any of the things that are going on. When if we look at the video, Gabby ain't even advocating for this girl to be thrown in jail. Gabby is not out here saying, oh, I just want her to take more accountability. She went to jail. She went to jail. She's on probation. What else do you want from her? And what else do you want from the people? Because unlike a lot of you bitches that feel like paid bots, I'm not taking sides. My Dominique, my friend, my ace boon cool, my sister girl is in the comments right now. She's watching this right now. The same way that some of y'all are watching, all of you on YouTube, all of you on Facebook, all of you on the TikTok. Dominique Morgan is on my Instagram right now watching this in real time. I'm not choosing sides. I didn't choose a side when I made my video yesterday evening, and I'm not choosing a side now. Do you know why? Because for the last motherfucking time, and very motherfucking clearly, this is what I'm going to say. Both of y'all were wrong in one way or another, and nobody's going to know the truth but both of y'all. That's how Hope Giselle feels. Because as a bitch from the 99s and the 2 motherfucking thousands who understands that when some shit don't make sense, it's usually a lie, I'm sticking by that. The issue here is we can't determine who's lying, which usually means it's both of y'all. And if both of y'all are lying, why is Dominique the only motherfucker that needs to be held accountable for the lies? Because Gabby came up with some receipts, Dominique got receipts too. Everybody's receipts make sense. So either somebody's doctoring something, or like I said yesterday, everybody played a part until playing a part wasn't fun and it came with consequences that people were not willing to deal with. And now people are bowing out gracefully. Y'all wanted me to get around the stuff and not skate and not do the nuanced thing that I typically do in the long firm version. So here's the short version. Here's the short version. I don't need to defend anybody because both Dominique and Gabby are grown-ass women with mouths, and both of them have lethal ones. I don't need to go out of my way to manufacture anything because the same videos that y'all saw, so did I. I don't have to go out of my way to spin something and make it seem like somebody is something or someone that they're not, because at the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Y'all want to talk about the harm that was caused to all of these people, but y'all don't want to talk about what's been done since then. Y'all want to talk about this Okra Project incident, but y'all don't want to talk about all of the other things that have been done since then. And I'm not just talking about absolving Dominique because she came up with a couple of great ideas since then. What I'm talking about is the fact that at the end of the day, this is not me painting the Okra Project out to be horrible, but it is to say, what have they done that has been hyper impactful? Because y'all sitting around talking about how Dominique took things from the community and how she did X, Y, and Z, but y'all are not talking about the things that she's given back to the community since then. Y'all want to talk about the testimonials of the couple of girls that came out and wrote messy articles and said things and whispered into community during that time, but y'all don't want to talk about all of the girls that have testimonials since then. And it's not to say that we should ignore those things, because y'all hoes love to forget that I speak in the tone of nuance. I understand what nuance means. Meaning, for those of y'all that's a little slow, for those of y'all who don't understand semantics, for those of y'all who don't understand diction and syntax, what that means is two things that are usually contradicting can live in the same space and be true at the same motherfucking time. Nuance. Like I said yesterday, I think that the way that Dominique went about spending that money was wrong. In my Dominique voice, it was wrong. Howsoever do I think that she just outright stole that money? No. What I think, like I said yesterday, was that this was a deal gone bad, and y'all bitches ain't gonna make me feel like I gotta say, oh, Dominique is a criminal. And y'all are not going to make me feel like I have to say, because I'm Dominique's friend, that Gabby ain't shit. That's not how I'm going to move in this particular situation. I'm not going to continue to promote that mess and that bullshit. Quiet as is kept. What I want to see from all of this is that at the end of the day, 6 months from now, I want Gabby and Dominique to make everybody motherfucking gag with a photo. That's what I want to see 6 months from now. I don't want to see these two girls out here going at it or feeling away or talking about this shit in 3, 4, 5 years from now. What I would love to see is a conversation that happens behind closed doors turn into nothing more for us than a photo that says it's handled, bitch. Very motherfucking Olivia Pope about the situation. It's handled. And I don't think that any of us should have to do any motherfucking thing except sit back and wait on the healing. But y'all don't want healing. Y'all don't want Dominique and Gabby to get back together. Y'all don't want to see the Okra Project thrive. Y'all don't want to see Dominique Morgan thrive. What y'all want is to be famous. What y'all want is to be able to talk shit and be mean to girls that you feel like have more than you. And the reason that I know that this is the case for a lot of you all is because you don't like my opinion about Dominique Morgan, but y'all love to keep bringing up the fact that I've moved to Mexico. Y'all talk about me moving to Mexico more than I talk about me moving to Mexico. Jealous much? Y'all talk about me leaving the country more than I talk about me leaving the country. And the sad fact of the matter is y'all are so pressed that I left y'all high and dry and moved to Mexico, but I am still doing more than bitches that live in the motherfucking States. Make that make sense. Netroots was this weekend in Philadelphia and had almost all of the black not constituents, but almost all of the black Congress people who is anybody that you would want to talk to were there. Netroots had all of the Congress people there. Everybody who was anybody was there. There's plenty of times where if you live in the States full time, you can run down to the Capitol. You can go over to the Capitol and get some stuff done. Y'all aren't doing that. What legislators are y'all working with to make sure that these bills get rolled back? I literally am bouncing around nationally talking to all of these state representatives and these Congress people. I'm not just on the internet yelling at y'all from places of no return. I'm yelling at y'all because I understand what's happening. I'm talking to y'all and I'm educating you all because I understand you. I'm in a unique position to understand what is going on because I'm hearing it from the people that help to pass the laws, that help to put bills on tables, that help to make our lives better. But y'all are pressed because I don't live in the States no more. Even if I could get you to Mexico, half of y'all wouldn't survive because you'll be too busy over there trying to fuck on people instead of getting your life together. Even if I could get some of y'all to Mexico, you wouldn't survive because y'all would be too busy trying to turn it into America 2.0 and not wanting to learn Spanish and not respecting people's cultures. Even if I could get a lot of y'all to Mexico, you wouldn't understand how to navigate because when the world doesn't revolve around Americans, some of you all don't know how to act. Y'all don't know how to understand, or y'all don't know how to navigate around some of the most basic inconveniences. I said what I said about Dominique and the Oka Project. I said what I said about the interviews and the way that I thought that they should go. I said what I said about everything that I said, and I'm going to stand on what I said. And at the end of the day, everything that I said was what I feel to be balanced on both sides. I don't think that either one of them is innocent or guilty. And what I believe that accountability comes in from is it comes from Dominique and Gabby sitting down and talking to each other about what feels good about it. Because also the thing that's really interesting to me is that y'all are sitting back and saying that nobody's checking on Gabby, but y'all don't even give a fuck about what Gabby wants as accountability. I've seen a lot of people talking about accountability, but nobody's asked Gabby, what do you think accountability looks like for you as the person who has had to navigate this with your face plastered across the Oka Project because Alana wasn't there with you, not publicly, at least that we know of. Nobody else was there with you, not publicly. They weren't the face of this entire thing. You were. And while y'all are out here fake virtue signaling like y'all give a shit about that girl in order to be able to continue to tear Dominique down, none of y'all are asking those questions. So don't sit up here and get upset with me about the fact that I refuse to vilify either one of them in the name of being a friend to one and being biased to the other. That's not what you're going to get over here. And if you don't like it, then you can bounce. If you don't like me, then you can bounce. Don't watch my videos. Don't listen to my opinions because I am just little old Hope Giselle. You ain't got to like me. My opinions mean absolutely nothing to the outside world. And so they should continue to mean absolutely nothing to you. If I'm a nobody, then why are you pressed and mad in my comments, talking, leaving all of these dissertations? Why? Is it because Dominique is ignoring y'all? And so anybody that speaks about these issues now is just going to be y'all number one target because Dominique is paying y'all dust. Is that what this is about? So you got to leave your dissertation somewhere. My comments are not going to be a safe space for y'all anymore. And they're not going to be a safe space for y'all anymore because at this point and at this juncture in my career, I am done and I am sick and I'm tired going out of my way for people who turn around and act as if I'm still not doing enough. I'm sick and tired of every single time I do a little 1-2 or a thing for myself, y'all turn around and make it seem like I was being selfish. A lot of y'all are still pressed about the fact that I had no choice because I have a husband and my husband said, for your safety, you're getting the fuck. And I'm so sorry that some of y'all don't have access to the resources. I'm so sorry that some of y'all don't have family members or loved ones or spouses that care about you enough to get you the fuck up out of a situation that they know is not conducive to you. But I do. And I'm not going to apologize for it. So yes, bitch, move to Mexico. Yes, bitch, don't really be here like that. Yes, bitch, safer somewhere else. But at the end of the day, I never forgot, and I don't forget the people that I am working to advocate for. I don't forget the people that I am working to make sure have a voice and to make sure are seen. Y'all sit around and y'all talk about who's doing this and who's doing that and who's not doing what. But outside of this issue, I want to ask y'all, outside of this issue, how many of you all have actually done anything major for your own community while y'all are talking about what other people haven't done? Because the people that y'all want to vilify, me, Dominique, Madison, Monroe, all of the girls that y'all can't stand because we seem to be the popular girls that are aligned with Dominique. Oh, y'all are just all aligned and all of y'all are just so phony and all of y'all are just so fake and y'all are just this and y'all are just that. But what have y'all done? What have y'all done? Because before Dominique was on, before Monroe was on The Chi, she was out here helping kids in DC who are at risk. And this is not what I think. This is what I know. My sister had a relationship with at-risk youth in DC and was making sure that those kids were not only housed, but to make sure that they were also safe. That's what Monroe was doing for all of the queer youth in DC. And then she left Atlanta to turn around and get into AIDS work. That's the type of girl that she is. Outside of all of the bullshit, Dominique is good at making money and raising money. And regardless of whether or not y'all trust her with it, when she gets it, she does the right thing by that money and always has done the right thing by that money. The people who have not gotten their money from Dominique is because of this entire situation blowing up in her face. And is that her fault? Absolutely. Should she be held accountable for that? Absolutely. But let's not act like she didn't stop doing that, or like she stopped doing all of that even while this was going on. While all of this was going on, she still helped Madison open up the starter house. She still helped Madison figure out who was going on and what was going on with the girls. The girl that's currently living in the starter house is now working with Dominique and learning the ropes or whatever the case may be as it pertains to figuring out what she wants to do in leadership. If she wants to be in leadership, trying to figure out what type of trans girl she wants to be. That is give back. Y'all talk about Madison, but without Madison's voice, there would not be a lot of room for a lot of the girls who are sitting out here making videos or talking or leaving disgusting comments. A lot of y'all wouldn't be able to be who you are if T.S. Madison never got on that motherfucking computer screen all those years ago and swung her dick around screaming bigdickbitch.com. But y'all are pressed because we don't want to vilify or throw somebody away after they've already served time. I can see if Dominique went to that court system and I felt a way about the fact that I think that she really did have some part in what was going on. And they said, you know what, Miss Morgan, you are absolutely innocent. You did not take that money. Nothing happened here. You are free to go. I could understand if that's what the case was. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. And some of y'all are not satisfied. And so therefore, what this has become is a witch hunt. It's no longer a morality conversation. It's no longer a community conversation. It's no longer, and it never has been, an accountability conversation. This conversation has always been, and the aim of this conversation was always to vilify Dominique Morgan so much so that she disappears. Y'all wanted to stop bags. Y'all wanted to stop bookings. Y'all wanted to stop visibility. Y'all wanted to stop upward mobility. And let me tell y'all something. Y'all are sitting back and you're foaming at the mouth and the ears like Popeye because none of that has happened. As soon as she got out, she went back to making her content, bags secured. As soon as she got out, she had a couple of bookings, bags secured. As soon as she got out, she's releasing a book, bag secured. And whether you like it or not, that bag is going to continue to be secured because one people, one group, one set of friends don't stop a show. Because for as many of you all that are so hard pressed to see this girl go under, stay under, die, and live the rest of her days out as a pariah of the trans community, as a pariah of the Black community, it is not going to happen, at least not based off of this. Let it go. Let it go. Because the craziest part about this is that y'all are running Dominique Morgan into the ground. But Sarah K. Ellis, the president of GLAAD, bought a motherfucking chandelier that could have paid for somebody's college tuition, and y'all didn't say a motherfucking word. And do you know why? Because you don't know who Sarah K. Ellis is, most of y'all. Do you know why? Because she's some random white bitch too, most of y'all. But do you understand how much power that random white bitch holds in this motherfucking community as the president of GLAAD? And do you not understand how unethical it was for her to buy a fucking chandelier for her home office that once again could have covered somebody's college tuition for a year? And all of you so-called activists who are so pressed about things being taken from community and who are so pressed about people not getting the things that community has raised and all of this extra money, none of y'all made a peep, and none of y'all are out there rallying to make sure that Sarah K. Ellis can provide us those tax documents for how to fuck a chandelier for your home office was worth it. But again, nobody debunked the fact that Dominique said that she was spending that money on work trips. Gabby said a lot. She never said that. She never said that that was not true. And all of the points that Gabby laid out in her video, she never said, oh, she said that she was spending this money on work trips for us because I didn't have a bank account and all Alana had was a chime card or whatever Dominique said. You made a lot of points. Gabby made a lot of points. She never debunked that. So I'm inclined to believe that a good bit of that money was overspent and mismanaged because y'all were out there gallivanting and spending the church's money up because it was a part of doing the work when y'all should have been more moderate to it. And instead of everybody leaning into that and taking their part of accountability on that, they blamed it all on Dominique. That is my 2 cents. It doesn't mean that I'm saying that Dominique is innocent, but it means that the nuance of this situation says that when you got green bitches with you and you doing some shit that you know is a little bit off, them hoes are gonna flip on you when shit gets going and the going gets tough because they're not used to doing shit. They're not used to doing shit. But when I see what I know to be something that I feel like is out of line with Sarah K. Ellis buying a fucking chandelier for her home office and putting it on the GLAAD budget, that's crazy. And the fact that y'all are wearing Dominique out about that, but there are all types of white leaders in the LGBT community that are already taking money and not giving it back to us that y'all don't say nothing about on a daily basis. I was the only motherfucker that really spoke up about those HRC layoffs when all of that stuff happened. Because regardless of what, and I understand that Kelly thinks that I'm attacking her, and I understand that Kelly thinks that I just hate her. I don't hate you. But when you making the type of money that you make to lay off people instead of giving some of your salary to make sure that those people could be sustained for the next year while they look for another job just wasn't ethical to me. If you're really about that shit that you say you about, being the only black person in a lot of these white rooms ain't it for me. That's the shit that I'm about calling out. Those are the people that I'm about calling to the forefront because those are the people who hold real power in this movement. But y'all don't want to talk about those people. Y'all don't hold those people to the fire the way that y'all are holding Dominique to the fire. And some of these people are the very same people whose ass y'all are trying to kiss to get to the GLAAD Awards, to get to an HRC dinner. Y'all will kiss these people's asses, but y'all want to turn around and make it seem like Dominique is the biggest thief on the earth. These people are taking hundreds of thousands of dollars from the community, and specifically from the trans community, because they're taking money that was given to them based off of black trans support, and they're giving it to white trans people. But we not talking about that. And the only person that's willing to talk about that is Hope Giselle. And y'all love me when I'm dogpiling on these people. But the second that I come and I give you a nuanced approach about how people within our own community, our people, should be handled and dealt with and given grace and care. Now, oh, I'm an old simp ass bitch. Now, oh, I'm an old grifter ass bitch. Now, oh, Dominica's my best friend. And so that's exactly what was going on. Like, y'all have really got me all the way fucked up. When somebody is making $700,000 and decides to do layoffs instead of giving $200,000 of that back to the budget to keep your staff. That doesn't make sense. Those are the crimes that I want to talk about within community. Those are the people whose feet I think we need to be holding to the fire until we see a change. Not the person who's already been to fucking Rikers. So I'm going to say this and I'm going to lay this shit to rest. I don't give a fuck how y'all feel about what I said, because at the end of the day, the only people whose opinion matter around this, to me, most importantly, are the folks that work at the Okra Project, because I want to make sure that I'm not misrepresenting what they put out. Because again, at the end of the day, they are a valuable organization to the LGBTQI plus community. And I think that watching them go away would not be in anybody's best interest. I also am not going to allow us to continue to look for ways to vindicate, to invalidate, a Black trans woman's atonement when that atonement looked like going to fucking jail. And not just any fucking jail. Dominique went to Rikers, for God's sakes. She didn't go to downtown Miami jail. She didn't go to jail in the heart of LA. She was in Rikers. Once again, this is a place that community leaders and advocates in New York have been trying to get shut down because of the conditions in Rikers. Layleen Polanco died in Rikers. So many people from the queer community have gone into Rikers and not come out. And I'm not saying that we need to put Dominique on this pedestal like she's the only trans woman who's ever been through this shit, like she's the only trans woman who's ever gone through anything. She's not. But at the end of the fucking day, half of y'all can't do 5 minutes in the county, let alone 30 days in the motherfucking Rikers. So I need for us to be honest about what exactly it is we want here. Because some of you bitches want blood. Y'all don't want accountability. You don't want atonement. You don't want this girl to succeed. You don't want this girl to eat. You want this bitch to disappear because y'all are sick that every single time you scroll down your timeline, it's a Dominique video. You are sick that some of your favorite celebrities are reposting a Dominique video. You are sick that even though you blocked her last year, you still got to see her pop up on your timeline because she's become the people's auntie. Some of y'all are sick that every single time y'all look up, you got to see her face, and you know it's only going to get worse because for whatever reason, this thing did not stop her show. This monkey did not stop her breaks. All of these fucking Donkey Kong barrels y'all been trying to roll out, she's been jumping over them. Y'all can't stand it, and y'all can't stand it for any of the girls who have been able to make it out and not be a part of what y'all deem as the trans experience. Y'all cannot stand when somebody does not have to follow the stair-step cookie cutter definition of what it means to become a Black trans woman who is successful. And I am not saying or excusing the fact that that decision that Dominique made, in my opinion, from what I think, not what I know, from what I think, not what I know, from what I think, not what I know, that decision wasn't cool. But if we believe in second chances and restorative justice and all of that shit, then how come we can do that for every fucking body except the people who are sitting right next to us? Again, not to name names because I love them, but there's a specific person who committed a series of crimes. Let you ask the people in Chicago, and y'all were so ready to hold the kumbaya circle for him twice. And this is a cis man who caused harm to cis women. And I think like maybe a trans woman was involved. And you got all of these trans women coming in to do this restorative justice circle for him. But Dominique Morgan, y'all want to tear down and throw away like she not one of us? Y'all have got to stop with all of this bullshit. Some of y'all need to just sit down. Some of y'all need to just sit down and sit back with yourself and just admit that you don't like her. And it's okay to not like Dominique. It's okay to not fuck with me. It's okay to not fuck with Monroe. It's okay to not fuck with T.S. Madison. But what I want y'all to understand is that without us, a lot of you bitches would not have visibility. A lot of you bitches wouldn't have a voice. A lot of you bitches wouldn't be getting paid the things that y'all are getting paid. Some of y'all are still getting $5,000 checks from events and thinking that that's the setup, bitch. And half of y'all wouldn't get that if it were not for us standing on business about what we cost to these people. And I think that y'all need to understand and recognize what it takes to be the visible girls before y'all are out here just assuming that we have it so motherfucking easy and so good. Because at the end of the day, all of this visibility turns around and makes you a target. Y'all be out here wanting something so bad without realizing the consequences that come behind this shit. Being visible means that you got to talk about shit even when you don't want to. Being visible means that people expect certain things from you even when you're not willing to do it. Being visible means that your grandma could die tomorrow and somebody could call you today asking you for for money, about how to get home, and you got to figure out how to make it work because they don't care. Because you are Hope Giselle. You signed up to be this person. You are Dominique Morgan. You owe me your time. You are Monroe Alice. You owe me your smile. You are T.S. Madison. You owe me your platform. And we don't owe y'all shit. We don't owe y'all a fucking thing. Nothing that we don't want to do has to be done. And it's just that simple. I am community focused, not community centered. I am community focused, not community centered. After 5:30 on the weekdays, don't bother me. I used to be a 24-hour on-call girl. I can't do that. I got a husband. I used to be a 24-hour on-call girl. I can't do that. I have friends. I used to be a 24-hour on-call girl. I can't do that. I'm a big sister. I used to be a 24-hour on-call girl. I can't do that. I'm about to be a mom. So if you bitches don't like the girls that are doing the work, that are showing up, that are being visible, then get visible. But the problem with that and the crux of that is that you can't get visible because y'all bitches don't have personality. And that's the real kicker. That's the real kicker. You don't have personality. You don't have anything that you can sell to people. Half of y'all can't hold a conversation, let alone get up here and talk to a camera by yourself. A lot of y'all couldn't conduct an interview to save your life. And that's not a shot. That's not a shot at Crazy Sexy Cool, because I know that some of y'all are leaning real heavy on that. That's not a shot to Crazy Sexy Cool, but it is to say that some of y'all out here who want to do this work, you got to learn how to interview, babe, which means you got to learn how to speak, babe, which means you have to learn how to do your research, babe, because you can't be up here talking to governors and senators and change makers and wave makers and not know how to hold a conversation or not be well versed in what they are doing for their constituents, no matter where they are, whether it's a Commonwealth or a random city. Y'all want everything that y'all think that we have, but y'all don't want to do the work to get there. And so instead of sitting back and acknowledging that we're working our ass off to do the best that we fucking can, y'all are turning around and make it seem like we are the problem for why you can't get on. You're the problem for why you can't get on. You're inconsistent. You don't post every day. You don't talk about the issues. You don't talk about pop culture. You haven't written anything worth reading. You haven't trained anybody worth listening to. You haven't gone out into the community and gotten your ass whooped enough. You haven't been out here on the front lines getting arrested. I'm not talking about just for promo. I'm talking about actually getting arrested because that's some shit that you stand on. You haven't punched the police in the face. You haven't punched the patriarch in the face. You haven't done anything. But then you have the nerve to sit around and ask, why Hope Giselle and why Dominique and why Monroe and why these girls? Because right now there's a resurgence. There was a time for all of y'all girls that was going to appease these people and say the things that made the white people comfortable. And they bought it up. They ate it up. But right now, we are in a time where these people, especially the white people that used to be paying y'all money, they are starting to realize that y'all haven't been telling them the truth because y'all have been trying to collect the check. And what I've learned and what I've always stood by is that my authenticity is going to keep me in the room, even when your lies and sycophantic behavior will keep you out of it. Some of you all have a pernicious relationship with being able to acknowledge that you don't understand, nor can you fathom what it really would take for you to be one of the dolls. It's okay to not like Dominique. It's okay to despise her rise to fame. It's okay to say, you know what, I think she's a thief and I'm sitting with it. But what it's not okay to do is say all of those things in the name of also trying to turn around and say that you're about restorative justice. Especially if you don't have a plan for what that restorative justice looks like and you're not including any of the people that were involved in the actual initial harm. So I'm going to leave y'all with this. If you don't understand that at this motherfucking point, the accountability has been had, and that's all y'all are going to get, that's on you, boo. If you don't understand that there's nothing else that Dominique can say or do outside of the time that she's already given to this issue, then that's on you, boo. If you don't understand that she's going to continue to keep being great, whether I believe it, you believe it, your grandma believe it, the dog twice removed believes it, she's still going to get booked by the people that want to book her, that's on you, boo. But I've made peace with the fact that regardless of what the truth is, I'm okay knowing that regardless of how much I didn't really care for that, sis served her time. She laid down, did it with a motherfucking smile and without her wig, and came home and didn't complain about the conditions or the food or the niggas or any of those fucking things. She laid that motherfucking time down and came home and focused on the issue. Whether you like the way she broke it down, whether you like the receipts that were presented or not presented, bitch, she laid down and did the time and didn't even come out trying to give us a sympathy plea about how horrible it is, because I'm sure it was. And that's the thing that's so interesting to me, is that everybody wants to talk about mental health and the health of the people that were involved, and why nobody's talking about the harm that was caused to people. But what we don't understand and what we are not getting, because right now our sister is in get that bag mode, as she should be after 30 days of lockdown. But what we don't know, and the questions that we're not asking, as people who care so much about restorative justice, as people who care so much about accountability, as people who care so much about the trans community and how this affects the trans community, what we haven't asked is, sister, what happened to you in there? What we have not asked, and the conversations that we have not asked is, sister, did you eat in there? Sister, were you treated well in there? Sister, did you get your moans? Sister, what's your mental health like? Because regardless of whether or not she caused it on herself, if y'all are about this restorative justice, if y'all are about this accountability, then what we need to do and what we need to do and what we need to focus on and what we need to be at with this conversation is making sure that everybody that was affected by this conversation, if y'all really give a fuck about accountability, also comes out of this situation better than they went in. Y'all are sitting back and y'all are saying, oh, well, Dominique came out swinging. Oh, well, Dominique came out saying this and came out saying that. Bitch, if you spent 30 days in Rikers, I'm not going to come out being the nicest bitch for my first 30 days out either. If I spent 30 days in Rikers, when I get out, I might not be the kindest bitch either. No tea, no shade. Especially to the people that I know are responsible for putting me in there. But since everybody is holier than thou, since everybody is just so above it, since everybody is so emotionally mature, and since everybody got their shit figured out, and you got your little degrees and you know every motherfucking thing, I would love to see some of you all go and spend 30 days in Rikers and then come home to people still saying, but like, I mean, was that really a big deal? Like, I think that she deserves more. Because what did y'all want her to do? JT numbers? What did y'all want her to do? Diddy numbers? What did y'all want her to do? R. Kelly numbers? For spending the money in the wrong way? Because I still don't believe she stole it. That to me just feels like you were spending money on shit you knew you didn't have no business spending money on, and because you knew that it was gonna be able to so-called be, brought back to the business, you kept spending. And I think a lot of us would be guilty of that. Because you know what, this is a work trip, I'm gonna put it on the card. You know what, it's 5 of us here from the job, I'm gonna put it on the card. Oh, it's 3 of us need this Uber, I'm gonna put it on the card. And that shit adds up no matter how much money you got in the account. Eventually, it always goes down to zero unless there's money coming in. I'm not defending anybody. I'm laying out what we've all been able to see. And the issue is, y'all want to make Gabrielle such a victim that y'all forget that she's an adult woman who was also a part of this. This did not happen to her. This was something that she was engaged in. This was not a thing that was thrust upon her. This was something that she was engaged in. This is not something that Dominique slapped on her motherfucking desk on Tuesday and said, here, you got to deal with it. This is something that she was actively engaged in. And I'm sick of y'all trying to paint it out like Dominique was some 50-year-old woman coercing this young girl into throwing her life away or some shit. Like, please. Both of these women played a part in what happened. The difference is only one of them went to jail for it. And until we're ready to have a conversation that involves the both and, I'm going to be convinced that some of you all are not big enough, old enough, mature enough, or intelligent enough to hold this conversation with the grace that it deserves. And that's it, and that's all. I'm going to stay on TikTok for a half a second to say the rest of the things that I need to say. So if you're on YouTube or if you're on Instagram, come on over to TikTok, because that's where I'm going to be for just a couple more seconds. Because I got some other things to get off my chest. But for the rest of y'all, y'all have a good one. And please lay this shit to rest. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how y'all feel, the girl served the time for the crime, whether she committed the crime the way that you think she did, or whether she committed the crime at all. And at this point, continuing to have this witch hunt just feels like y'all are some hating ass bitches who want what she has and not want her to actually be a better person coming out of this situation. And that's just where